this parsha, Yaakov marries Leah and Rachel. Leah has children. Rachel does not have any children. She's a barren woman. Rachel says to Yaakov, give me children, otherwise I'm considered like dead. And Yaakov gets angry with Rachel and he says to her, am I in the place of God that's preventing you from having children? But this seems to be a very insensitive response to a woman who is experiencing deep pain and longing for a child. And especially considering the deep bond and love that Yaakov shared with Rachel. Why did Yaakov say such seemingly harsh words to Rachel? But the truth is, Yaakov was not being insensitive. On the contrary, he was teaching Rachel the deepest form of hope and trusting in God. You see, there's two levels in trusting God. In the first case, a person has a problem, but he or she sees that it could be resolved some way or through someone. So there's some light. Yes, the person trusts in God and prays to God, but at the end of the day, you know that there might be a solution. Then there's a case where a person has this very big problem and there's no solution in sight. No one and nothing can help you. It is on that point that a person feels hopeless and lost. When you feel totally hopeless, this is when you can develop this true relationship with God and develop a 100% reliance and hope in God, because there's nothing else that can help you. Yaakov experienced that very thing. When Yaakov was sent away from his homeland, from the warm nurture of his father's house, going into a strange land, penniless, having nothing, Yaakov then said the famous verse, Me'ayin Yaveh Ezri, where's my salvation going to come from? He felt hopeless. He didn't see any light, didn't see any solution. And then he said the second verse, my help will come from God. It is at that point when a person is totally crushed and hopeless and there's no solution. There's no one that can help him. It is at that point that you have a 100% reliance and trust in God. And this is what Yaakov told Rachel. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on anything. Right now what you need is a 100% trust and reliance in God. And when she did that, eventually God answered her, as it says, God remembered her and listened to her voice and gave her a child. And this is a great lesson that Yaakov is teaching every single one of us, that hope is never lost. And when you experience this vulnerability, that you're alone and you're lost, this is when you can develop the strongest bond with God and the strongest blessings from God. Have a very good Shabbos.